Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. The El Clasico is ahead of us. Now that much time left for the El Clasico to happen, and why not build a combined 11 out of both teams? So, before we go into the 11, one thing I want to clarify and mention is, I don't know if I was going to use the unavailable players or not, but I'm going to be using the unavailable players. So we're going to be building the best team out of both teams. And how I'm going to decide it is, I would say 70 to 80% complete of last season. More like 2025. 2025. So a little bit of this season, majority of last season as well. Let's do this. For the goalkeeping position, Juan Garcia is, he's climbing. Won La Liga goalkeeper of the year ahead of Thibaut Courtois for Espanyol. And obviously, very great start for Barcelona. Injured now, but I'm going to give it to Thibaut Courtois. He's fit now. He's performed, better this season because he's been fit. Goes against Garcia and was obviously really good for Real Madrid last season as well. And Courtois is still saving Real Madrid in the big games, in the big moments when they need him. Even last season when they lost to Arsenal, what was it, 4-1 across both legs? 5-1. They could have lost even more because Courtois made so many astonishing saves for Real Madrid. So Thibaut Courtois takes the goalkeeping position. Moving on to the defense, right back, I gotta give it to Jules Koundé. Dani Carvajal, obviously last season was out with an injury, has been injured this season, so he's not an option. So it's more between Koundé and Trent Alexander-Arnold for the right back position. But as we all know, I don't rate Trent at that level. I don't rate Trent at that quality. He hasn't been that good with Madrid, and he wasn't that good with Liverpool last season. So Jules Koundé strongly takes the right back position. Moving on to the left back position, it's a bit interesting because Alejandro Balde is better than Alvaro Carreras. But how I'm building this team, it has to do with what you have done on the pitch as well in recent time. And the unfortunate thing for Balde, he was out injured, for the big games last season, towards the end of the season, and then he was injured in the beginning of this season as well. So that is the argument against Balde. Was Carreras, he was good with Benfica last season. I think he was good with Benfica in the Club World Cup as well. And then ever since joining Madrid, he's been a solid signing so far for Real Madrid. I think recently broke like some recovery interception record previously held by Sergio Ramos as well. So I think this is somewhat of a tough pick between Alejandro Balde and Alvaro Carreras for the left back spot. More this season you go Carreras, more last season you go Balde. I'm going to be opting for Alvaro Carreras. It's unfortunate for Balde, who's been injured, but how we're going by this, Carreras can get that prop for the left back position. Moving into the two centre backs, and I believe this is the biggest weakness area for both teams. I think both Real Madrid and Barcelona are in need for just new reinforcements, especially with Barca losing Inigo Martinez. Madrid, still trying to rely on Rudiger, Militao, and Alaba, who all had ACLs and injuries and so on. Even though Militao has been good this season. What do we pick? Kubarsi, Huijsen, great with the ball, bad defensively, especially in the beginning of the season. Huijsen picking up red cards, Kubarsi getting cooked left to right to center. You got Eric Garcia. The centre-back stuff is so tough, especially by we're going this season and last season. Like, you have Militao, who's been very good so far this season, but I don't remember anything from Militao last season. Then you got Kubarsi. So hard, man. If we had Inigo, he would be the first name. He would make this centre-back stuff easier. I think we'll just pick one Barca, one Madrid. From Barca, honestly, if we go out form and quality and so on, recent time, Eric Garcia out of Kubarsi is not the worst thing. But I'm still going to pick Kubarsi. And from Madrid, I'm going to pick Dean Huijsen. Even though Militao has been... but Huijsen has been better than Militao this season. It's a little bit of a tough one. But I'm going to pick Dean Huijsen and Pau Kubarsi as my two centre-backs. A little bit of a weak area, not that many strong contenders in competition. Let's just move on into the midfield. Midfield, the first name obviously has to be Pedri. No questions, no doubts, no thoughts. Pedri is the first midfielder in this 11. Arda Güler is the second midfielder from this 11. He's been absolutely superb this season. And unlike some other players, Güler didn't play last season because he was bad. He didn't play because, Carlos is a fraud. But, Güler has been performing at such a high level. And once again, a little bit similar to the centre-back area, we're coming to some stumbling blocks, some weaknesses. Who is that third midfielder? Valverde, good-ish last season, has been poor or mid. so far under Xabi Alonso. You go to Barca, you got Dani Olmo, ended last season really bad, starting off this season really bad, and has been injured. You got Fermin as a wild card. Camavinga been injured, Gavi been injured. I think it's between Tchouaméni and Fermin Lopez, but I'm going to pick Tchouaméni as he started more games, was even good towards the end of last season as well. Plays for his national team, and it's been very solid for Madrid so far this season. So I'm going to pick Aurelien Tchouaméni, Pedri, and Arda Güler to complete the three-man midfield. And moving into the attack, there are two obvious names. The first one is obviously Kylian Mbappe, firing on all cylinders this season, La Liga top scorer last season. The star player of this Madrid team now that Vini is pushed to the side. Next to him, obviously, Lamine Yamal takes the right wing position. And now we have one spot left. And it's Vini versus Rafinha. Rafinha, the only thing that's a little bit holding him down, I didn't think he ended last season the absolute best. And has obviously been injured so far this season. Vini, strong this season. Strong-ish. I don't know, he's had some bad games as well. Better than last season, Vini. Started off this season better than he ended last season. And I remember I did this combined 11 with my friend and I picked Vini. But I think I'll pick Rafinha. I think Rafinha deserves that respect. And Vini got to do more to eclipse Rafinha, especially what Rafinha did last season. So I'm going to pick Rafinha, despite him being injured for this tie. That don't matter. Rafinha takes the left wing position. And as you can see right in front of us, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Real Madrid players and 5 FC Barcelona players. And to finish it off, manager-wise, Xabi Alonso has had a good start so far at Real Madrid. He wasn't that good with Leverkusen last season, but was good previously with them. And then got Hansi Flick. Despite Barca having a turbulent start, obviously Hansi Flick is the better manager and gets more out of his players and his team. Maybe not in the beginning of this season with all the injuries and the bad form and the egos and whatever Flick says in interviews and so on. But I do think Flick takes the manager position. And that finishes off this combined 11 between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. And it's going to be interesting if the lineup right here in front of us will be showcased are these going to be the best players going into the El Clasico game? I think that's a very interesting thing. Courtois, definitely going to be huge for Madrid this game, I think. The thing is about Barca, for example, they didn't create that many chances against Paris Saint-Germain, so I don't know how much they would create against Madrid. Yes, PSG are better defensively than Madrid, but Barca obviously missing Rafinha, missing Lewandowski, even though Lewandowski has been poor this season whenever he's played. But Courtois will be huge. He will have to save Madrid a couple of times. Koundé, obviously, with Vini on that side, Koundé needs to have a good game to cancel out Vini for this game. That would be absolutely huge. Looking at the centre-backs, pick Kobarsi and Huijsen, both of them will be seen, playing out of the press. Because Madrid press better than last season. So that's something Barca got to be prepared for, and that's where Kobarsi can use his passing ability outside of that. Then both him and Huijsen have to be really focused defensively. Barca, despite their press not being as good as last season, they will still press Madrid, and Huijsen will be the key for Real Madrid in that game. Moving on to left-back spot, I obviously picked Alvaro Carreras. Alvaro Carreras, it'll be him versus Lamine Yamal. It'll be a huge game. Last season we saw Yamal versus Fran Garcia. We've seen him versus Ferland Mendy. And am I missing someone? Maybe we saw him versus someone else. Now he's going to be playing Carreras for the first. Yes, he did play him when Carreras was at Benfica, but a lot of Madrid fans have been wanting to see how Carreras will do against Yamal, so that will be a once to watch. Very tough job for Alvaro Carreras. Moving on to the midfield, Pedri. Look, if Barca want to win this game or dominate this game, Pedri will have to be great, which he probably will, as he most usually is. Even though sometimes a little bit questionable in big games, I think Pedri will be great, and he has to be great this game. Tchouaméni has to be solid for Madrid. He uses his defensive awareness, but also be better on the ball. Barca will press a lot, especially their midfielders. You could see Pedri pressing Tchouaméni or other Barca midfielders. Arda Güler has to be huge. The only issue with Arda Güler is that Xabi Alonso is going to force him to play in the double pivot and play Bellingham up top, because Bellingham he generates so much football, according to the marketing companies. But Güler will have to have a big game. He's Madrid's biggest playmaker this season. And if Mbappe is going to score a goal, it will most likely come from an Arda Güler assist. Moving up to the attack, before we go to Mbappe, Yamal, Rafinha, he's not going to be in the game. So instead, I'm going to say my opinions about Vinny. Vinny needs to have a good game. He could be the main man ahead of Kylian Mbappe, as we saw versus Juventus. So we'll see if Vinny actually wants to eclipse Mbappe after Mbappe's had such a sensational start to the season. And Mbappe and Yamal, I put them together. This game is about them. Yamal adding on with the trash talking before the game, it would be a lot of discussions about Yamal and Mbappe. If Madrid want to win, Mbappe has to be great. If Barca want to win, Yamal has to be great. And I'm talking about goals, I'm talking about assists, I'm talking about actual impact and impactfulness that leads to goals. So, yeah, both of these players have to be great. They are, the best players in their team. They are the main man. They're the ones that they're going to be looking for if they're down by a goal or something. So, yeah, very excited for this game. And, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys agreed with the combined 11. And if you didn't, let me know where you disagreed with. That's been it from boy PS Gent. Make sure to tune in for the live watch along of Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.